Welcome back, guys. It is round 4 of the 73 BMW Stance Works. We are at Donington Park National Track. The rain is here. We have a total of 20 drivers that have entered. We're over 2 races, each race consisting of a 8-lap race and a 16-lap race. We're across 2 pools, so sit back and enjoy the highlights of all 4 of these races. So here we are, race number 1 in pool 1. Looking at the starting positions in row number 5, in 10th place, we have Jakes in car number 84. He is alongside 9th place, Colin in car number 16. Row 4 and Yaku, he's in car number 10 for Tarmac Monkeys. He is in 8th position and he is alongside Marius. Marius having qualified 7th in car number 70. We go to row number 3 and the TTR driver, Duppy in car number 89. He is alongside Bruno in 5th place, driving in car number 58. Row number 2, and we have Dirk from Tosco in car number 73. Dirk is alongside our Scottish international Ross, who's currently in 3rd place. Row number 1, and the green Mumbo, Andrew, he's in 2nd place, driving in car number 5. And he is alongside our double race winner from Sonoma, Gerard. He's in pole position for Tosco in car number 45. Waiting for the green lights in a very wet Donington Park National, and away we go. Both Gerard and Andrew have had a good start coming off the line as they head down this main straight to prepare to go into turn number 1. Everyone jostling for positions but keeping enough distance on this very wet, very tricky conditions. Gerard starts pulling away from Andrew as they come down turn number 2. That's Jakes, he's moved up a position coming off the line, starting to put pressure on Marius. Well, that's Dirk in 73, he's run himself a little bit wide, coming through the old hairpin. That's allowed Bruno to go around the outside, going through Starkey's bridge. Hard on the brakes here, turn 7, McLean's. Everyone seems to be clear so far. They're going up the hill. Well, Bruno has a little look on the inside of Ross, but he pulls out right at the end there. Dirkie moves to the inside while Bruno runs a little bit wide and takes the position back from Bruno. We have a little pan back. That's Yaku. He's starting to put pressure on Bruno as they come down Starkey Straight and enter into turn number 9. Everyone's clear through there. That's Marius, who's also moved up a position. Jump to the front of the pack and we see Andrew, he's ahead. We see Gerard dropping positions as he goes into the pit. Andrew leads with Ross in 2nd, Dirk's 3rd, Bruno is in 4th, Marius 5th, Yaku is in 6th, Duppy he's in 7th place, Jakes up to 8th from 10th on the grid. Colin, he's into 9th place with Gerard in 10th. Here we chase Jakes currently in 8th place. That's Duppy ahead of him. Marius, he's ahead of Duppy. Well, that's Yaku run wide going through the old hairpin. Yaku will lose a position to Marius, Duppy and Jakes. Up Starkey's bridge into turn number 6. Jakes will opt for a much wider line here. Through exiting out of McLean's into Coppice. Oh, Marius, a big power slide coming through that turn number 8. Getting the power back on and onto Starkey Straight. 1st, 2nd and 3rd, they will go through the S's, turn number 9. Looks like Ross lost a bit of traction coming out of that corner. That's allowed Dirk side by side. Andrew will cross the line in 1st place. Dirkie will have the run on Ross, but Ross will have the inside going into turn number 1. Dirk knows that Ross is there, gives him enough space. Oh, a little sideways by Ross. That's allowed Dirk to go ahead of him. Dirk now moves himself up into 2nd place. Ross is in 3rd and that's Bruno in 4th. Through the old hairpin. Dirk's very neat going through that corner with the rain here at Donington Park still coming down. Rain has been expected for the entirety of this race. Jakes is starting to put pressure here on Duppy as they go through McLean's big power slide by Jakes. As they go along that back straight, oh, Jakes has gone into the back of Duppy. That's now allowed Yaku goes through. Colin goes through. There comes Gerard. Dupi, he will rejoin the track. And here comes Jakes, down in 10th place, rejoining. Very unfortunate for both Dupi and Jakes. Back to the leaders up front. That's Andrew, he's still in first place. Durkee, he's been closing down this gap. Oh, Andrew goes a bit wide, big sideways action as he goes through the old hairpin at turn number 4. Run, turn number 6, through Starkey's Bridge. Up into McLean's he goes. Oh, a little lock up there by Andrew. Big power slide once again. You see Bruno, he's starting to close down on the behind of Durkee. And I'm pretty sure that this is going to become very close up in front. Another power slide for Andrew. Coming out of Coppice. See Morris, he's made his way through the field. Morris starting 7th on the grid. He's now lying 4th. We'll have a quick look at what's happening in these positions. Andrew leads, Durkee's 2nd, Bruno's in 3rd, Marius 4th. Ross is down in 5th place, Yaku's 6th. Gerard making his way, or just dropped a position. Gerard's in 8th, Colin is in 7th. Dupi, he's in 9th, and Jake currently in 10th place. Marius starting to put lots of pressure here on Ross on lap number 4. As these conditions going, the track starting to get a lot wetter, making conditions a lot harder. Big power slide by both Ross and Marius coming into the old hairpin. Sure, there'll be lots of action later on as the conditions change. The track gets a lot wetter. Power slide once again by Marius. I'm pretty sure he knows that the camera's on him. This is definitely for the fans. Up through turn number 7. Ross has run wide. Oh, unfortunately, Marius gives him a little tap. Ross is unable to catch it. Spins it around. That's Bruno. He runs himself wide to not hit Ross. Marius, he moves himself up into 3rd, and Bruno will move to 4th. Coming down Starkey straight. Ross is now trying to get him momentum. He's lost the place to Colin. That's Dupi. He moves to the inside of Ross as they prepare to go into this braking zone. Oh, Dupi's made the car extremely squirrely going into turn 9. Colin will go through. Dupi unfortunately spins it around. That was Yaku and Jakes. They will go past, and Dupi unfortunately will lose 3 positions in that corner. This is the battle for 5th place. Gerard served his drive-through penalty. Big power slide between both Gerard and Bruno. Gerard starting to put some pressure on Bruno. Got to remember that Gerard was the pole sitter here, so in theory he should have the fastest speed here on the track. As they go into McLean's, both Bruno and Gerard, big power slide coming out of that corner. Will Gerard have a little look on the inside? Gerard tucking in behind Bruno, just about 4-wheel power slide coming out of that corner. They now head down the Starkey straight. I think Gerard is a little bit too far behind to take the overtake going into turn 9. Oh, Bruno spun himself wide. He's off. Gerard has moved himself up into 4th place. Bruno in the background, no one really there to take the position away from him, so he will retain that place. Race leader Andrew from the Green Mumbers in number 5. Big power slide coming out of Coppice. He leads Dirk by 3 seconds. Heading down Starkey's as they go into turn number 9 at the S's. Remember, we're turning to the right here where normally we go left on the GP track. Oh, Andrew's lost the rear going in there. I think that would have put pressure. There's Durkee. He started having a great run coming on Andrew. He'll tuck in behind Andrew as they go into begin the last lap. Into turn number 1. Andrew's a little bit sideways. Always run himself wide, taking the signboard with him. That's allowed Dirk. He's moved up into 1st place. So Dirk, he will cross the line in 1st place after Andrew's mistake on lap 7. Andrew will finish second with Marius third, Gerard in fourth from his drive-through penalty, Bruno fifth, Ross sixth, Colin seventh, Dupi will finish eighth, Jakes ninth, and Yaku in 10th. Now it's time for Pool 1, race number 2, 16 laps around a wet Donington Park National. Pool 1, race number 2, 11 drivers entered, with Vince having made it into the qualifier. Colin, he starts off in 11th place. He is down 2 places from his race 1 qualifier. Row number 5 and Dupi, he's in 10th place alongside Andrew. Andrew slips down 7 places from his qualifier. Yaku, he's in 8th place in row number 4 and he's alongside Vince. Vince qualifying in 7th. Vince is in car number 29. In row number 3, Dirk, he's down 2 places from his race 1 qualifier and he is alongside a 5th position Bruno. Row number 2, Jakes, he improves 6 places on his race 1 qualifier. Jakes in car number 84 starts in 4th. Ross, he is in 3rd place alongside Jakes, starting 3rd in car number 91. And row number 1, pole sitter Gerard in car number 45, he drops down 1 place and he finds himself behind Marius, car number 70. Marius jumps 6 places from his race 1 qualifier and Marius will start off in pole position. Green lights and off we go. That's Bruno. He's had a great start coming off the line, moving himself ahead of both Jakes and Ross. Marius leads going into turn number 1 with Bruno second. There's Gerard in 3rd. A little touch between Vince and Jakes, but no harm done. 2 wide with Vince and Jakes as they come down Craner and set up for the old hairpin. Everyone seems to be clear through there. A little contact between Dirk and Vince as they went through turn number 4. See Dirk and Vince, they're still on track there. So that bump must have been very light. Big power slide by Ross, getting some pressure by Jakes as they came through McLean's. Up the hill, Ross. Big bites of the curb there. I'm sure we'll start seeing a power slide there. We saw Ross in a couple of laps time. This track will start getting a lot trickier. Single file as they head down Starkey Straight into the S's. Turn at number 9. Jump ahead to a race leader Marius as he crosses the line to begin lap number 2. Into turn number 1 he goes. You can start seeing that racing line that was there in the qualifying is now gone. That was Gerard and Bruno side by side coming down Craner. Gerard had a look on the inside there at the old hairpin. We chase Vince. This is 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th and 6th place. These 6 places only separated by 2 seconds. Big power slide by Jakes and Ross as well as they come through McLean's up the hill here, and Coppers looks like Vince has got the run on Jakes. Will he have enough power to go around the outside? No, he doesn't. Ross is really battling with this BMW. You can see there he's currently sitting in 4th place. Getting it all sideways. Will Vince have a look on the inside? No, he doesn't. Ross, he goes defensive, taking a much tighter line. Whoa, big power slide by Vince coming out of that turn number 9. And we jump back to Durkee. He now moves past Jakes going into turn number 1. We didn't see that Dirk was right behind Vincent coming out of there. Vince, a big power slide after getting a little touch by Durkee going into turn number 1 as they come through turn number 2. Dirk tightens up his line, prepares to go through Craner. Whoa, got a little bit sideways there in the brakes coming into the old hairpin. Dirk, he's hit Vince. Fortunately, that's spun Vince around. That's Yaku goes through, Andrew goes through, and Dupi, he connects against Vincent coming out of the old hairpin, and that's unfortunately thrown him off. jump to our race leader here on lap number 4. As he comes up into turn number 7, big drift for Marius. He still leads ahead of Bruno in second place. Gerard is third. Ross is fourth. Jakes is fifth. Dirkie, he's in sixth. Colin is in seventh. Duppy, he's down in eighth. Yaku, ninth. Andrew, 10th. And Vincent in 11th. On board with Gerard, who's got Bruno in sight. Well, Gerard, have a look on the inside. Realize that there wasn't an overtake on just yet. Well, Gerard took a little bit of that curb coming out. Fortunately, losing some traction, and Bruno able to move further and further away. On board with Ross, as Bruno, he goes wide. That's Gerard. Huge drift. He's looking to overtake Bruno. Gerard has had the run going around the outside there at Coppice. Big power slide here by Ross. Manages to drift around both those apexes. Gerard, he's moved himself up into second place. Bruno, he's down in third and currently on board with Ross here in the car 97 in fourth position. Marius getting a little bit out of shape, going through the S's. He's now dropped 2 positions with Ross having enough drive. That's unfortunately left Marius down in fourth place. Will Ross have a look on the inside going into turn number 1? It's a bit tight here. Little lock up there by Ross. Back on the power, big power slide. We don't see Bruno. Bruno was there side by side. Little touch between Ross and Bruno. But Gerard, he is the race leader after Marius making that mistake. Marius going from first place all the way down to fourth. As Gerard, he drifts around the old hairpin. Marius currently in fourth place. He chases Bruno and Jakes as they go through 6 and prepare for McLean's. Jakes drifts, Bruno drifts, Marius drifts. Marius having a little look on the outside here of Bruno as they go to Coppice. Jakes, huge power slide there coming out of Coppice. Down Starkey's straight. Marius trying to apply some pressure on the back of Bruno. Well, Jakes has got it very sideways going into turn number 9. So is Bruno. That will allow Marius to go past. Looks like Marius will have the run on Jakes as they cross the line. Jakes defends his line, moves to the outside. And Marius unfortunately not able to get an extra position from Jakes as he slides around turn number 1. Looks like Jakes ran very wide. Marius has managed to get that position. Marius now moving up into second place. The pole sitter here starting to make his way back up the field. We catch up with our race leader on lap number 9 and take a look at what's happening in the positions. They're ahead of Gerard, that's Duppy. He's about to be lapped by the race leader. Awesome power slide there by Gerard going through McLean's. The positions are Gerard leads, Marius is second, Ross is in third, Bruno is fourth, Jakes fifth, Dirk he's in 6th place, followed by Yaku in 7th, Andrew he's in 8th place, and Colin down in 9th position. We catch up with our race leader Gerard here on lap number 9 as he power slides sideways through Coppice. He leads, about to overtake Duppy. Coming down Starkey's, Duppy just moves over, allows Gerard to go past. Marius, he's in 2nd place, followed by Ross in 3rd. Bruno, he's in 4th place with Jakes in 5th. Dirk, he's in 6th place with Yaku in 7th. Andrew's in 8th with Colin in 9th place. Duppy, the lap man, he's in 10th with Vincent unfortunately disconnecting. And shot the Green Mamba driver Andrew. He's down in 8th place after finishing 2nd in race number 1. Oh, he gets the last hit. Oh, that's unfortunately, he's disconnected. Not what he wanted. Beginning a lap at number 13. That's Jake starting to put pressure on Bruno. He moves to the inside. Will he have the inside line? No. Bruno just squeezes him slightly. Jakes has to let him through. Well, Jake's having a little bit of a power slide there. as he came around turn number 1. Down the hill into turn number 2, around Craner corner. Sorry, Craner curves. Into the old hairpin. Bruno very sideways. The pit conditions on this track are a lot slipperier as when they started. Just seen Ross go past. Ross currently in 3rd place. This is Bruno in 4th with Jakes in 5th. We're on board with Dirk. Bruno's on the inside. That's Jakes. Goes around the outside of Bruno. Big power slide by Jakes. Bruno will go through once again. Bruno back up to 4th place. Jakes 5th. This is Dirkie. He's currently in 6th. You can just see how treacherous his conditions are. Through the old hairpin. Big counter steer there by Dirkie. Just controlling that rear. Back up the hill through 6. A little bit of counter steer as it goes into McLean's. Up the hill here, Coppice, turn number 8. Dupuy lets the rear come round, gently just drifting it through there. Here's the race for 4th, 5th and 6th. Hard on the brakes into turn 1. Oh, Jakes has carried a little bit too much speed. He's pushed Bruno, and that's unstabilized to the rear. Jakes unfortunately going off. That's a lot. Dirk, he's now moved himself up into 5th. Jakes in the background there. He's rejoining the track in 6th place. Down through the old hairpin. Once again, a huge power slide in the wet conditions. Up through turn 6 into McLean's. Well, it looks like Bruno had run himself a little bit wide there. Coming out of Coppice. Once again, power sliding all the way around here. Dirk tucks in behind here at Starkey's along the main straight. Hard on the brakes into the final corner. Big power slide there by Dirk. And race winner Gerard, he will cross the line in 1st place. Marius will come home in 2nd with Ross in 3rd. Bruno will finish 4th with Dirkie in 5th. Jakes in 6th. Yaku will come home in 7th with Dupuy in 8th. Colin finishing in 9th with both Andrew and Vincent unfortunately disconnecting. We now go to Pool 2, Race 1. Sit back and enjoy the highlights of this 8-lap race. We look at the starting lineup here for race number 1 in pool number 2. We unfortunately lose both Toki and Dane due to disconnection just before the race, hence the open spot there. Roy, he will start off on the 5th row in 9th place. Row number 4 we'll see in 8th Clive for Zeta Racing, driving in car number 91. Clive is alongside 7th place Memo, driving in car number 7. Newcomer to the series, Ronaldo, he is in car number 70 and he'll start 6 on the grid. Alongside Ronaldo is the Cape Town driver Hamid. Hamid will start off in 5th place and he is in car number 9. Row number 2 in 4th place is the TTR driver Jacques, driving in car number 88 and he is alongside the Green Mamba driver Dylan in car number 5, making his return since the 10th of May. Row number 1 and Ash, he finds himself 2nd on the grid. He is driving in car number 9 and he is alongside the pole sitter Rudy driving in car number 58. So as you saw there, we unfortunately experienced a little bit of a glitch. So Hamid, who's currently in 5th place, he will now be driving out of car number 7. Ronaldo, he's currently in car number 9. Clive, he now drives in car number 70. Memo is now in car number 91. And unfortunately, we lose Roy due to a disconnect. As we wait for the green lights here in pool 2, race number 1. Both Rudy and Ash have a great start coming off the line. That's Dylan having a look on the inside there between both Rudy and Ash. Ash goes in first. Dylan unfortunately locks the brakes. He runs himself very wide. Jump on board with Jacques as we have a quick look at the back as we see Dylan. He's still off on the track. That's a Memo and Clive there, unfortunately having a little bit of contact there. Going out of turn number 2. Jacques heads down the hill to go around Craner curves. Hard on the brakes into the old hairpin. That is Ash, Rudy, Hamid and then Jacques. Ash currently leading the pack as they go through McLean's. It is the Cape Town boys 1, Rudy second, Cape Town boys in 2. That was Hamid making a great move on Rudy there coming up through Coppice. It is now a Cape Town boys 1 and 2. As they head down Starkey Straight. Rudy having been in pole position, he's unfortunately dropped down 3 places. Coming to the beginning of lap number 2. Third place, Rudy starting off in pole. Here on lap number 3. That's Hamid. Looks like he's made his way to the front of the pack. Ash currently in second. Rudy's in third. That is Jacques in fourth. Unfortunately, our up-to-date lap times and positions are not quite working. So unfortunately, if I do bring up that lap positions, it will give us a very confused picture. Hamid leads, Ash is second, Rudy is in third, coming through turn number 1 here on lap number 3. Oh, Ash is unfortunately put on the power, lost the rear. Rudy's gone straight into the back of him. Rudy will now rejoin in second place. We'll have a quick look behind to see what's happening. That's Jacques. Jacques has now moved himself into third place. That's Dylan. He is now in fourth. Way ahead we saw the spray there of the Cape Town driver Hamid. He's now pulled the lead approximately 6 seconds from this battle. Rudy currently leads Jacques. Oh, Rudy having a little bit of problem there getting the power down coming out of McLean's. That's allowed Jacques to get right up behind him. Rudy running very wide as he set himself up for Coppice. There's Dylan in the background coming around Coppice sideways. Looks like he'll have the run on Rudy as they head to turn number 9. Dylan hard on the brakes on the inside, or Rudy is on the outside. Got a bit of the rear off the track there. Dylan power sliding around Rudy to take that place. Dylan now moves himself up into third position. In shot, that is Hamid driving in the livery of Memo due to the glitch. Currently 8 seconds ahead of the pack. Hamid started 5th on the grid and he's moved himself to the front and he's definitely taking control of this race. This is currently the battle for 2nd, 3rd and 4th. Jacques, the TTR driver, currently in 2nd place. Dylan from the Green Mumbers is behind him, coming down the back of Starkey's. Dylan moves to the inside, makes an extremely easy overtake, going into the S's. Rudy tucking in right behind Jacques as they head down that Wheatcroft straight. Rudy moves himself to the inside here for turn number 1. Jacques, unfortunately, he's now dropped down to 4th place, having lost 2 positions in the matter of 2 corners. In shot, Ash from the Cape Town boys. He was sitting in 1st place. As we see, starting to battle a little bit with these tricky conditions as the rain keeps falling here at Donington Park. 2nd place, a driver, that's Dylan in that Green Mamba. Coming through Coppice, getting that power on, letting that car drift. starting to pull a gap away from the third place driver, Jacques from TTR. Hard on the brakes here into turn number 9. Oh, unfortunately, he's put on too much power. Oh, he's put it straight into the wall. As we look down the main straight there, that's Jacques. Jacques will go around him. Rudy will move himself back up, so Dylan now drops down from 2nd down to 5th place. Coming in shot there now, that's Ash. Ash starting to put pressure on Dylan as they come into turn number 1. You see in the back there, that was Ronaldo, currently circulating in 6th place. Dylan has been able to keep that place from Ash, and Ash will retain his 5th place. Dylan having dropped from 2nd down to 4th after that incident coming out of turn number 9. Halfway through lap number 7, that's Jacques in 2nd place, Rudy's in 3rd, Dylan in shot. He's in 4th place. We have a quick look behind. There's Ash currently in 5th. As the 4 drivers go through Coppers. Well, Rudy's run himself a little bit wide. Dylan's been able to get the power on. He's moved to the inside, taken that position away from Rudy, and Dylan now sits in 3rd position. Lap number 8 and the battle for 2nd place is still on. Jacques looked like he had lost a bit of traction there. Dylan's now decided to go around the outside. Side by side as they go through turn number 5 here at Starkey's Bridge. Up into McLean's. Dylan hasn't made that move stick. So Hamid, he will cross the line in 1st place. Dylan will come home in 2nd. Jacques 3rd. Rudy 4th. Ash 5th, Ronaldo in 6th, Clive, he will finish 7th, Memo 8th, and Roy unfortunately disconnecting. So we now head to Pool 2, race number 2 for a 16-lap race. As we wait for these green lights here at race number 2, green lights and off they go. Hamid, he's made a great start coming off the line. That is Ash in 5th place. He's starting to put Rudy under pressure as they go into turn number 1. Ash has been able to get around Rudy. That means Rudy has dropped down from 4th place into 5th. That's Ronaldo. He too has moved up a position on Rudy. That looks like Jacques running a little bit wide there. He's taken the grass route. He's unfortunately dropped down to 10th place. Into the old hairpin. Oh, Ash tags Dylan a little bit there. That's Ronaldo that goes past. Rudy goes past, and that's Torquay in car number 90. Well, Torquay has had a great run coming through that corner. He's gone around the outside of Ronaldo. That means he's moved up 4 places in a matter of 2 corners. A race leader, Hamid, he comes around Coppers. We have a look at what's happening in the positions here on lap number 1. Hamid leads. Dylan is 2nd. Torquay, he's in 3rd place, having come from 7th. Ronaldo, he's in 4th. Ash is in 5th, Rudy 6th, Memo's in 7th, Clive's in 8th, Roy in 9th, and Jacques in 10th. That's Dylan, Torquay, Ronaldo, and Rudy. Rudy are going into turn number 1. Well, Ronaldo's run himself a little bit wide. That's allowed Rudy to take the inside there. Ronaldo will start getting some pressure here from Ash as they come down the hill through Craner curves. Setting up into the old hairpin. The rain is still coming down here at Donington Park. It seems that Ronaldo has been able to fend off that attack by Ash for now. Cape Town boy Hamid, he's currently leading this race, having qualified 5th in race number 1. Landed up bringing home the race. He's now qualified 1st, and here he is leading the race and pulling a 2.5 second lead away from Dylan. Jacques currently in 9th place. He's starting to put some pressure here on Roy, currently in 8th. Roy taking a little bit of curb as he exits it out of turn number 9. That allows Jacques to get that power on and make an easy overtake in the end here, going into turn number 1. In shot, our race leader Hamid here on lap number 4 comes through turn number 6. He'll unfortunately put it on the grass. That will spin him around. And while he's still trying to get the car back, Dylan, he will go past. He will take the lead. You'll see there's Rudy will come past. Ash will come past. That means it is Dylan, Rudy, Ash, then Hamid. And then unfortunately, as Dylan goes through the coppice, he unfortunately disconnects. So we have a new race leader, Rudy. As he crosses the line, he'll begin lap number 5. We take a look back at the positions. Rudy leads with Ash in second. Hamid is third. Ronaldo, he's in fourth. Toki is in fifth. Jacques is 6th. Memo is 7th. Dylan disconnects with Roy in 8th and Clyde in 9th place. Well, that was Ash. He's just spun around. He's allowed Hamid to move up a position. That's Ronaldo. He's currently in 5th place with Toki in 6th. Following in car number 90. Coming into the old hairpin. Well, Ronaldo goes slightly wide. Toki, he sees the opportunity. He goes through the inside. Both of the drivers running on the grass. Toki eventually winning that race. That is Jacques doing some farm simulating. Looks like he'll get around Ronaldo as well. That means Jacques, he will move himself up into 5th place. Rudy and Hamid coming through into turn number 9. Hamid moves to the inside. He realizes he's not going to be able to take that position. Rudy does allow him enough space. Now it will be a battle of to get that power down. Looks like Hamid managed to get that power down. Rudy, he tucks in behind. Hamid has been able to make that pass on Rudy going into the S's. Big power slide there by Hamid going into turn number 1. That is Toki currently in 4th place with Jacques here in number 88 starting to make some headway here, and Toki coming down into the old hairpin. Jacques has put it on the grass, trying to catch it to bring it around. Unfortunately back on the grass, that spun the rear. Can hear that Ronaldo, he's now moved himself up into 5th place, and that leaves Jacques down in 6th. 2nd place driver Rudy, he's run himself wide coming into turn number 8, trying to get the car back on track. We'll have a little squiz behind on what's happening there. There we see Ash currently in 3rd from the Cape Town boys, starting to put pressure on Rudy. Ash will have the runner. Rudy going into turn number 9. Very late on the brakes is Ash. Unfortunately, he's run himself too deep. He's now spun himself. That gives the position back to Rudy. Rudy will retain his 2nd place and live to fight another day. Lap number 11, and we chase Toki. He's approaching McLean's. That's Ash in 3rd place. Oh, Ash getting a little bit of oversteer. He's unfortunately gone into Toki. Let's put Toki into the tyre wall. As brakes, lets Toki take that position, realizing that it was Ash's fault. Toki will continue without any harm here in 3rd position. And lap 11 seems to be the lap of incidents. Here we see Ronaldo. He unfortunately goes off as he started going through coppice. We can just hear Jacques in the background. He'll go past, take the position, and Jacques, he will move himself up into 5th position, and Ronaldo will move down to 6th. Our race winner Hamid, he will cross the line in 1st place. Rudy, he will finish in 2nd with Toki 3rd, Ronaldo in 4th, Clive in 5th, Jacques will drop to 6th, Ash in 7th place, Memo 8th, Roy in 9th. So now that all 4 races are completed, we're able to have a look at what's happening in the standings. Dirk is our new leader on 140 points, and Marius, he moves himself up into 2nd. Jakes unfortunately falls through 2 places into 3rd. A strong performance by Gerard for 2 weeks running, that puts him into the top 5. Hamid from the Cape Town boys, after only having entered 2 events, a very strong performance that helps him climb the ladder and puts him into a top 10 position. Colin was in the top 10. He unfortunately started slipping down and he finds himself at 12th. A strong performance by Torquay in the second race. He starts moving himself up the standings. Newcomer to the series, Ronaldo, he scores a 32 points for the day, and that leapfrogs him ahead of any of the other drivers who have only entered in one of the races. And Dylan is finally on the scoreboard.